Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to show you the Hisense CANVASTV and how we actually mounted it to the wall. It's been requested that we show you that, so we wanted to show you the details of how that happened. So we used a stud finder, but if you cannot use a stud finder, they have these massive drywall anchors that you could put in the wall that will hold your TV. So obviously they come with 4 of them because they want you to mount 4 very large bolts into your wall. We used a stud finder to find the studs that were in the wall, and lucky enough we were able to hit 4, and so we were good to go, and we don't need to use these if you have studs. The second thing we had to do was we got to the back of the TV. They have 2 mounts. These come separate. So they have mounts, they actually label that they have to go up here. There's one screw that holds each one in that comes with it. And then they have these, basically they kind of tilt down. And what these are is really guides. They're guides that will actually help you with the mount. The mount's got kind of hooks on it. And so when you guide it down, if my fingers were the hook, you would guide it down, you'd get the hook, and it would be mounted up against the wall just like that. And these help a tremendous amount of just guiding and getting it, making sure that you hook it correctly. Then they come with these tiny little pads at the bottom. So you have to put these in a place where your TV is going to kind of rest against the wall. That's how flush mount this is that these pieces of the TV actually mount and actually connect directly to the wall. So the other thing that we did when we had the TV down is we came and we have a digital antenna that we use for local games. So we didn't want to cover up any of these venting, so we pushed it as far over as we could for that. And then we just connected that to the back of the TV, and this kind of has a little cove in it, so this will actually sit flat into it. It would actually help a lot more if we had a smaller coaxial cable, like a very small coaxial cable, but we don't. So we're going to make this work for now, and then I'll come back later and I will find one hopefully and make that a little bit smaller of a footprint against the wall. That's really it. And then the last thing is the plugs on this side. So the plug itself is kind of recessed so it sits flat. What we need to do, like I mentioned on my video, is that I either need to figure out how to do an inset outlet for up there. As you can see, that outlet is not inset. So we needed to use a flat, really flat plug to actually, extension cord plug to plug into the wall. This does not come with that. So that's something I would actually recommend that from a manufacturer standpoint, what they would do is instead of having this plug look like this, which is going to be sticking off the wall that much, that they should do something like this extension cord does, which is make it extremely flat, right? So instead of sticking off the wall that much, you'd basically reduce it by about an inch or so, maybe an inch and a half. So I would suggest that they do that for Hisense to make this a little bit better or easier a mount to an outlet that looks like this. Okay, so this is the mount that comes with it. So as you can see, we hit studs here, 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 and here. And they actually recommend that you mount 2 of these to the outside like we did here, and then 2 in the middle, which we did here. So it does that, and then these are actually where that guide kind of rests in here. So you're going to hit in between 2 of these, and you'll actually get it mounted correctly. So you have a little bit of leeway left and right of where your TV actually mounts. The second thing is, this is the high-speed internet outlet here. This probably should be recessed as well, because even if you use a coaxial cable, it'll sit about an inch off the wall like that. So this needs something that can be recessed as well, and then this one should be recessed as well. So we're going to work on that. You're going to do that, or we'll bump the wall out, because we wanted to shiplap this wall anyway. So maybe by bumping it out with shiplap, it would be just enough that we'd actually get it where it looked like it was flush mounted to the wall, but we might not have to deal with this. So this is an extremely flat mount. A lot of TV mounts have, they have this mount, plus they have something that connects to the TV where it's 1 or 2 inches off the wall. This does not do that. It's very flat. That being said, it will not tilt down. Right? It's going to lay flat against your wall. It's supposed to look like a picture. That's why it's the Hisense Canvas. So it's going to be flat against your wall everywhere. You're not going to have the ability to kind of tip it, tilt it, or any of that sort of thing. So now to hang the TV, what we do is we're putting these pieces out far like this, so it has a better chance of hooking on it. We're lifting from, obviously, 2 sides. Lift with your legs. Anyways. Then get somebody that's got some kind of strength to get it up high enough, and we always have a guy in the middle there. He's going to do the plugging for us. Okay, I'm too high now. You're too high. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, are we centered again?
Yep.
Okay. So we made sure that we're centered here as well. So we're centered from side to side. And so we're centered here. We're centered here on the wall. This, of course, bothers us, but we're not going to worry about that right now. And then, like I said, this little piece over here, that actually worked really well. It sits really close in to that little pocket area. So now we should be able to scan for a digital antenna, and we'll have that as well. And then the last thing we have to do is really just put the framing around it, which is all magnetic. So you can actually put pieces on it if you want, but this is all magnetic on the sides. And I should have said too, the mount in the back of the TV has magnetic pieces to it. So now when you actually lay it flat on here, you can actually hear it clip, which it's the magnets that are actually on the TV clipping to the mount. And that gives it a little bit more stability as well. You always put the first top one on first, and it's magnetic, so it actually stays in place. They have screws as well that you can actually use, but you don't need to use them. Here's the bottom one. Here's a side one. So again, these kind of just hook in place, and then you just gotta get them nice and tight so they look completely connected. So we did that one. And they kind of have like a little hook. Looks like a little hook right there. So you got to kind of get in there, oops, and you got to start with it in the right spot. And you just got to hook it in there and make sure it's nice and tight there. Okay, and then the last one, you'll notice the last one has a little cutouts and stuff like that. So the little cutouts are so that you can actually use your remote control. So we're going to put that one in place last. Just like that. And then just make sure it's tight in the corners. There you go. So this is actually a little bit off the wall yet because we have that cord behind it for the plug, and the plug's just a little bit off the wall. So it actually will get even tighter against the wall, but you can see like I can barely get my fingers back there behind it, and so without it coming off the wall. So you can see how tight that is. It'll get even a little bit more tight when this cord goes away, and it'll actually be closer to the wall, but it's really close to the wall. Okay, and when we actually were looking for the studs, we used a stud finder that we had, so we got one of those. They're really cheap. They're 20, 30 bucks at Home Depot to find the studs in the wall. Then we drilled some pilot holes because the leg bolts are really big, so you want to drill some holes in there. Make sure that you're going to hit your stud because it's a heavy enough TV that you want to make sure that it doesn't come off your wall and damage the TV. So we drilled some pilot holes for those things, but that's how easy it is to install the mount for the Hisense CANVASTV and actually get it mounted to your wall. You're going to need a couple people just to lift and get it kind of hooked on there correctly, but that's it. So subscribe to our channel, give us this thumbs up. If you've had Canvas TV as well, Hisense Canvas TV, or the Samsung TV that's similar, where it shows pictures and it's kind of a picture frame TV, let us know. And subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.